Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, today we have another Walking Dead discussion for you. Daryl Dixon taking over the lead role as Walking Dead Season 9. Coming up in October, I think.
October, and he'll be taking the lead, of course, after the first half.
After the first half, yeah.
After the first half. Can he really lead this group? There's so much that's going to be going on in Season 9, as we know, with Andrew Lincoln leaving. Excuse us, that's
Happy
fireworks.
4th of July!
Happy 4th of July when you're seeing this, yeah. Fireworks going off. Lauren Cohan's only scheduled for 5 or 6 episodes, and then where do we go from there? What's going to happen? We don't know. But Daryl?
So, look at it like this. Maybe we might get just a little bit more backstory. I mean, look, I know that him being around for 8 seasons, the character, we've gotten to know him, but do we truly know his entire backstory? I mean, I know when he was in that shed with Beth, we learned a lot about him. Mm-hmm. And over the seasons, we've learned a lot about him, but do we know? I mean, there's so much more they could tell us. They could reveal to us that maybe he had a wife or something like that.
See, for me, I would like to see that in kind of like a side story thing. Because to see his history or see his backstory, you'd want to see him with Merle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they might bring him back.
Yeah.
You'd almost need to do that kind of backstory thing leading up to him becoming the lead role. I would think it would be a nice transition, but it's going to be more of Rick Grimes is gone, he's dead, and here's Daryl Dixon to take over because Daryl, the character, has always been by Rick Grimes' side through it all.
Well, Rick's other number one guy was, killed by Negan, so then Daryl had to step in.
True.
But actually, even through the seasons, you could kind of see Rick and Daryl becoming closer than you saw Rick and Glenn.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that Glenn was his number one guy. I don't buy that at all.
No.
But he just happened to be the kid that saved him, and he
it was more Rick
was
and
close
Daryl.
to him, but
it was more Rick and Daryl.
I mean, look at the scene when Rick turns to him and says, "You're my brother."
Yeah, I mean that one. And then when he came to Alexandria, when Daryl broke out of
they hugged
sanctuary, they hugged it out. Daryl gave him his gun back.
Yeah,
so it's
Ooh, is Daryl gonna get his gun?
No, Judith is.
That'd be pretty sweet, though.
Actually, Michonne would probably take it. But yeah, he would probably go to Daryl, honestly, unless Michonne takes it.
It's just...
See, we're talking about, as we know, we don't know if Rick is going to be killed off. We don't know, but it's...
Well, we have
to see a transition of Daryl taking over. Yeah. Or even if yes, he's going to be the new lead. We've gotten confirmed he's getting paid Norman Reedus getting paid a lot of money.
$20 million.
So how would they transition that? How would they transition truly Daryl taking the role of, for Rick? Because we know that,
and by role, we mean leader of the Alexandria community.
Right.
Kind of...
Well, every
savior every community.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's going to be that because that's been Rick up for 8 seasons now.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but it hasn't been Daryl. So you can't just say, oh, Rick's gone. Daryl's our new savior that has brought us to this new world. No, it's been Rick. But how are they going to transition Daryl into a lead role after that? That's the question.
Because at first it would be like Maggie, but then, of course, as we know, she's only in the first half. So then you got to pick up that piece again as well. Okay, how do you get him in to the lead to lead the Hilltop, the Kingdom, Alexandria? I'm
almost wondering if they still...
From the events of Season 8.
They have come out and said that they are going to severely branch off away from the comics.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that at all. That's great.
Depends on, I mean, I know all of us want the Whisperers, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still give us the Whisperers and possibly have Daryl alone saving the communities from the Whisperers, and that's how he becomes stepping into his lead role. Is he not necessarily shows initiative because he has before, but he is the sole figure that has won this battle for all the communities after Rick's death.
When he sees Rick's head on a spike.
Yeah, maybe he uses Rick's death as like a full-on, that's it.
That's if they put his head on a spike for the Whisperers. I doubt it. That would be not cool, but I would get it.
Dude, that would not be cool.
It would not be cool.
So with a main character like Rick leaving, does that mean, in your opinion, let's just transition this into another question. I know this video is about Daryl, and we'll come back to Daryl, but you're losing Lauren Cohan. You're losing Andrew Lincoln. Do you think that Ezekiel will stay around longer than his comic book death and not be put on a spike?
I've been contemplating this for so long. Leading up to this.
I think you'd have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to
put him on a spike.
No, you have to keep him around.
Yeah, you got to keep him around.
Just because you're losing so much star power, and
he's a great leader.
Yeah,
he's a great leader. I've been contemplating that ever since the Whispers came up. Like, is Ezekiel really going to get his comic book death? And spoiler alert, if you haven't read the comics, that's what happens to Ezekiel, unfortunately. I don't think they would do that with Ezekiel. Like, we've had a couple other discussions of who they could replace on there. But after all the events that are happening with season 9, you have to keep Ezekiel because he's a very important character. He's very loved character right now.
I think so too. I think he is one of the top characters that people have taken a liking to.
If you're going to shift from the comics, then shift by keeping him around and help Daryl guide him in the right direction. Because Ezekiel, that dude can pump anybody up. You know what I mean? You got to fake it to make it.
Trust the king.
So, he could actually be somebody who could really help Daryl continue on, and and also depending on how they do the story with Rick and with Daryl and Maggie, being so resentful at Rick for keeping Negan alive, we'll maybe get to see how that's going to play out, and then depending on how Andrew Lincoln's exit could change Daryl into saying, okay, I was wrong, let's move forward in a positive way, but he might still need guidance from someone. Carol, that's a big thing that we've heard about, is him and Daryl and Carol having a bigger kind of relationship in season 9.
This actually does kind of set it up perfect for Michonne to slide back into her comic book character. Mm-hmm. Not so quickly.
Not so quickly, yeah.
And then possibly, I would love to see Dwight come back. Mm-hmm. And then Dwight takes his actual comic book role now, because Daryl now shifts into the role of being the leader.
Right.
And that leaves, for those of you that don't know, Dwight has assumed the lead in Rick's army for the Alexandria community in the comic books. He can now do that again, because we originally thought it was going to be Daryl.
Yeah. Definitely.
It lined up perfectly.
Yeah. So just so many different moving parts, and just trying to think about, okay, if they're sticking with comic book stuff, what things could they do with Andrew Lincoln leaving now? Okay, what are they going to shift to with Lauren Cohan only going to be in the first half? What are they going to shift to? Who else is left to lead? There's Daryl, there's Ezekiel, there's Dwight, and there is the man.
Negan.
If they want Negan.
All about Negan.
They want Negan. But I mean, I don't know.
That messes up everything.
It does.
It does, because in the the end of season 8, Daryl wants to kill Negan. Mm-hmm. And now...
And Rick. Well, not Rick, but he's pissed.
We got to believe that if the leaked script is right, 5 episodes into the season, Rick's going to be dead, or at least 6. We know 6.
Right.
He's going to be dead. Negan's probably still going to be in the cell, and Daryl's not going to magically change his opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it is 2 years later.
Right. It's a 2-year time skip. I mean, even Father Gabriel can help kind of guide Daryl a bit too. I mean, honestly, when we first kind of heard Daryl taking the lead, it was kind of like,
It still is like that. I'm not going to lie.
It still is. It's kind of like, can he really lead?
Like,
really lead.
And it's not anything on, what the hell, Norman Reedus.
No.
Not the actor.
Not the actor.
That's not it.
We're talking the character.
I'm talking about the character.
The character itself. Because as you guys know, his character does not exist in the Walking Dead comics at all.
And that's fine.
Which is perfectly fine. Because he's an awesome character. Very well liked, very well loved. Norman Reedus, great actor. But yeah, we're talking about the character about to lead. Not can Norman Reedus act that way. No, This is about Daryl. Can Daryl guide the group like Rick Grimes can?
This is a loner character.
Yes.
He has on plenty of occasions gone away from the group to be alone, to hunt, to look for Sophia on his own, to be with Beth on his own. And the only person he's been 100% loyal to is Rick. So how can you transition from a loner character to a full-blown leader?
Right. Yeah. It's going to be tough, but I mean, honestly, I'm excited to see where it goes. I honestly am. It sucks. You see the look on his face. He's like, I don't agree with you. But I mean, honestly, I'm still up in the air with a lot of things, and the more information that comes out, depending on if they talk about, once we see like the first, maybe synopsis of the opening season. I don't know, but I mean,
I don't think they're going to give us anything.
Probably not. I mean,
that's the excitement about it, kind of. Like, I agree with you. Like, I'm kind of excited about what they're going to do with the season because there's so much unknown about it. Like, we've been so spoiled because we know what's going to happen because they've been following the comics a little bit closer, but now it's turning into a completely different show, and we truly don't know what's going to happen.
We don't, and I'm excited but also sad because we know some of the events that are going to be happening. That's going to be sad, and then our mind is going to be still like trying to get over Andrew Lincoln leaving. That, okay, how can we now put that in the back of our mind and continue on with the show to see Daryl lead the group and see what's going to change within the whole group.
I am not going to lie to you at all. Like, 10% of me is like, I don't know if I want to watch this show after Andrew Lincoln goes. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, there is a little piece of me that feels like I don't want to watch the show anymore.
There was some information a couple weeks ago that they did a poll, I think. I don't know where they did it, but they did a poll of like maybe 1,000 people or something, and I think 44% said that they're done watching it after Andrew Lincoln leaves. So
that's big.
That's a big percentage, and I'm sure there's more. But I'm same with Josh. It's going to be hard to want to continue when that's over with because we know the story of The Walking Dead has always been the journey of Rick Grimes.
Yeah, it's not about zombies at all.
Not about zombies at all.
It's about the journey of Rick Grimes, who happens to be making it through a zombie apocalypse. That's what the novel's about.
Yeah, and sorry not to get on a Rick tangent or anything, but like the last thing I just wanted to say.
Oh shit, we're on a.
I know
this is a Daryl video.
So the last thing I wanted to say is basically if they do kill Rick, I understand it because he's basically lost everyone. He's lost Carl. He has Michonne.
I get it too.
Judith, but whatever. But anyway, Daryl is going to be the new man, and I am hopeful that I'm hopeful that
maybe like
I don't know.
Maybe he gets hit over the head so hard that like he wakes up and he was Daryl all along.
That was a weird. Yeah, I've heard about that too.
No, is that a thing?
Maybe that was somebody. They were more talking about Rick, like he was Shane.
I have not read that at all, but no, the Shane thing, that's ridiculous. Or that Shane has a twin brother. Yeah. Anyway, look,
I'm hopeful.
I am too. Look, we still got Daryl Dixon. We still got Carol. Still got Negan. And I'm very excited for season 9. Guys, let us know what you think. How do you feel about Daryl? Not Rick dying, but how do you feel about Daryl taking over the lead role in the second half of season 9? And how excited are you for
Season 9.
Season 9.
Exactly. Let us know your thoughts. And once again, this has nothing to do with Norman Reedus. This is Daryl, the character, on his own, leading the group of survivors. That's what we want to hear from you guys. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure to follow us at NocBro Nation on Twitter and Facebook. And stay tuned for more Walking Dead videos leading up to the Season 9 premiere. We'll see you soon. We're NocBro Nation. We're out.